Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Pisces Twin Podcast. My name is Amy, for those of you who are just joining us.
I'm Ciara.
And today we're going to discuss, we're starting our Magick Witchcraft podcast series. And today we're going to start with a subject that everybody's interested in, it seems like, and is really curious about. And that is love spells and love charms, etc. Okay, so we're going to discuss this, and we're going to share a bunch of actual like historical spells. We're going to share like different types of herbs, different types of magic basically to do for love spells. But first off, we're going to start with telling you our opinion on love spells. Okay, my opinion is this. Do what you want, but make sure it doesn't harm anybody, okay? Like, in other words, don't be doing something against somebody else's will. And when I'm going over the historical love spells, when you hear them, you're going to be like going, oh my God, with some of them, because some of them are just completely...
Really crossing some boundaries.
Yeah.
Especially one that my twin was sharing with me when she was going through it. It rang some bells. If some of you have watched the movie Midsummer, yeah, that's where we're gonna be talking about that one, I'm sure.
I don't know if I marked it, so
well,
let me know. If not, you can freaking grab the,
Yeah, I can. I essentially remember what it involves.
So my opinion, yes, it's like, do what you want, but just realize that you don't do stuff against people's will.
That's not how magic works.
No,
it's not what magic is meant to be.
Because it's gonna freaking come back to you. No matter what. I know there's some people who believe that there's no repercussions for their actions. Those kind of people, like the people in charge of the United States right now who think there's no repercussions for their shitty actions. Think again, bitch. Yeah. Okay. People like that can go suck it. All right. You have to
take responsibility for your bullshit.
Exactly. It's called integrity, people. Okay. Integrity. All right. And we don't want to cast spells against somebody without their permission. All right. It's kind of funny because, we're going to read about this, and like one of the authors in one of the books that I have here, which is, about making puppets and magical dolls, kind of like voodoo dolls and stuff like that, which, many countries all over the world actually use puppets in magic. I mean, even from Japan to like the Slavic countries to, Mexico to Africa, everybody uses those kind of things in magic spells. So I'm actually going to give you some spells for stuff like that too.
Dolls have always... again, across all those different countries, I think it's kind of a shared concept that dolls are like empty vessels.
They are.
That can be filled with whatever or anything
like
that needs a home.
What is the movie with it? It's not the original Conjuring. It's
Annabelle.
Well, in the original Conjuring, don't they do that? What about what's the doll that's in Key West? What is his name? If you don't...
Howard?
I can't remember. It's a
something with
fucking
an H.
trippy doll. But
you don't want to mess with him.
No, because anybody who's like been an asshole and gone up to the doll and mocked it because they thought it was bullshit, they ended up having really fucking horrible things happen to them in their lives, like even deaths. So
it's happened multiple
They literally
times.
To break it, to like get on your good karma back, basically, you have to write a letter to this doll and apologize. And then shit gets normal again. It's no joke.
No,
okay,
it's
you
not.
don't want to fuck around. I hate people who are like
Again,
so close-minded and they like. I don't want to say I hate
dolls.
them. It just irritates me that there's so many ignorant people.
Don't mess with dolls and don't mess with mirrors.
And it's not like every single thing out there is going to be like that. But there are a few items out there that they have proven that
genuine.
Yes, that is the real deal. Okay. Like in
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah, Ed and Lorraine Warren's basement, in their house, which isn't that like a museum now? So
yeah, the Try Guys, or not the Try Guys, but the spooky dudes. I can't remember the name. BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Yeah,
they went there.
They went there. So yeah, there's just certain stuff you don't want to fuck around with. Okay. So anyway, that's my opinion on it. It's like, do what you want, but just remember, you have to take responsibility for your actions in one way or another. So it's always good to get permission.
Or you work spells on
yourself.
love spells on yourself to attract what you need. And that's probably just better anyway, because, you know,
Which
sometimes
I'm going to give you some because I have some for you.
Our egos can get in the way of really what's best for us.
Yes.
And, you know, the universe is going to present something that sometimes you don't understand why it's being presented to you, why, you know, it is the way it is, but it works out for your best if you just trust in the universe and you go with it.
So, and then the next question was, you know, have you ever done a love spell and would you ever do one? And I don't know if Ciara has, but
I wouldn't really refer to it as a love spell, but there was something that I did where I wrote out an intention, and it did involve blood, and it involved specifying certain details about potentially somebody to come in or whatnot, and some of those details did manifest, so it's not bullshit.
yeah, well, truth comes out here. I've done it. But it's kind of funny how it happened, because guess what? I'm in a relationship, you know, with somebody. I've been with them for a very long time. And the actual book that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today was actually his, okay? Not mine. He had it before I was even with him. And he totally did some magic on me, basically. He admits, you know, and I thought, what the fuck? You know, and he's like, but you were right there and you saw me freaking doing it. I'm like, oh, you prick. But it's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, we've been together for a freaking long ass time. So and he loves bringing that up and joking with me about it constantly. You know, I molested your candles. You know, it's like he's just a pervert. So anyway, but yes, you know, I have done it, but for myself a long time ago. Okay, long time ago. So anyway. We're going to go ahead and get into it because we have a lot of stuff to share, and hopefully we can get to it all in this episode. We might have to break this one up actually into another, because look at this. I literally put page markers in this.
It's a lot of fucking page markers.
Yeah, and it's like
it's
bleeding.
funny.
I know. It's funny because this is a little tiny, it's a thin little booklet. It's not even thick, but the information
really
in it is fucking off the hook. I mean, there's stuff from all over the world. So basically this book, I mean, you might be able to find it. I don't know how easy it is to find this book.
I'm guessing that book is not going to be as easy to find because it's fairly old.
Let me tell you, he bought this at a store, like, because here's the stamp from it inside of it, of where he bought it, where we used to live. And let's see, this book was actually written in copyright 1972. So this is old as F, okay? The information in here, like when it was written. But the information is much, much older. Like what it's talking about is thousands of years old, some of it, okay? And so we're going to go ahead and start. By the way, I'm going to take pictures of a lot of like sometimes there's like little amulet pictures and stuff, like what you're supposed to do for the amulet. And I'm going to take pictures of what I talk about. And I will go ahead and I will post it in a highlight on my Instagram account so you guys can actually see what it looks like. So you're going to have to go there to see what it looks like if you want to take a look. So anyway, getting right into it. First off, I'm going to tell you a little bit. It talks about talismans, seals, and amulets. And it says all three may be grouped under one heading: talismans, or if you prefer, magical charms. In addition to the popular understanding of the chosen term, consider also that the medallions, badges, and other material symbols of every religion are, in the broad view, magical charms. Exactly. So like when we'd see heraldry, you know, on people's flags or their armor or whatever, when they went into battle, that's basically what that is. Okay. You know, that's what it is. Okay. So the most rational of men, with few exceptions, carries a mascot, in quotes, or magical charm. Most would laugh at the mere suggestion of it having any magical powers. Yet even as they laugh and deny having any superstitious beliefs, they still find comfort and pleasure and a certain serenity in the possession. Further, they certainly will not call their favorite trinket, coin, ring, the doll that hangs on their car or airplane, the curio on the desk, or whatever, anything such as a talisman. Yet that is what they are. Kings and presidents, tycoons and educators, all types of civilized men have their talismans. Naturally, there is a wide gulf in the degrees of belief in them. Okay? Like, for instance, rabbit's feet. That's like an old school one.
That's totally a talisman.
Every age, culture, and religious doctrine has produced talismans of an incredible and almost infinite number. They would seem to be a part of the essence of man. Let one ponder the patent absurdities. Only the unquestioning acceptance has changed. Talismans are still with us in countless numbers and probably always will be as long as mankind exists.
That's true.
Yes. In very ancient times, there was a distinct difference in the powers attributed to an amulet and those of the talisman. The former had continual power that never faltered, whereas the latter had one specific purpose and ended with its immediate task when the immediate task was done. Today, amulets and talismans are generally accepted as one and the same thing. A magical article that either comes from nature, such as an unusual stone, gem, herb, root, etc., or is man-made, such as engraved metals, cast medallions, inscribed parchment, rings, pendants. The list is endless. Talismans are used in two ways. In many instances, the possession of a talisman is considered the only requirement necessary to receive its benefits. A love talisman is supposed to draw love to its owner. A money talisman draws money. On the other hand, a talisman will play its part as an integral facet of a ritual. The ritual may be built around the talisman, and with it being the focal point, or the talisman may be one of a number of instruments of the art that are employed. Seals are amulets and talisman. There are that are so designated because they all bear symbols representing some particular deity, spirit, or other supernatural being. Their basic purpose is the same as all the other types. So basically, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of background on that because we're going to start off with talismans, talking about that here. And, one of the first ones I'm going to share is a Moorish love charm. It says, to make a man love a woman and not be able to still his passion for her, the following ingredients were gathered: coriander seeds, caraway seeds, mastic gum, white lime from a hardware store today, but in ancient times it was easily procured from the countryside, cumin seeds, verdigris. Verdigris is the blue-green coating which forms on copper or brass. It may also be formed by applying acetic acid to copper. Such acid can be secured from druggists, it says here. Myrrh and some blood of an animal. Okay, I'm going to warn you guys now. A lot of these love charms, they're like ancient. So a lot of them are
not
sacrificing.
Vegan-friendly.
They're not vegan friendly, exactly. They're sacrificing animals, or you use, I mean, honestly, I'd rather use my own blood than an animal's blood. I don't want to harm an animal. I would never fucking would do that. I'm sorry. No. Okay. So finally, broom straw from a cemetery is needed. These materials are taken into the countryside at night, and a fire is kindled. Onto the fire, the woman tosses the items one by one, chanting as she does so. O magic coriander, make him mad. O magic caraway, cause his wandering without surcease. O magic mastic, put in his heart despair and tears. O magic white lime, make his heart to tremble with fear. O magic cumin, bring him to me in desire. O magic verdigris, light the fire in his heart. O magic myrrh, cause him a frightful night. O magic blood of the victim, bring him panting.
Oh my God.
O magic broom, bring him to me. Well, shit. Okay, so that was the first one right there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let Ciara switch over, and she's going to share something too from what she collected from her book, whatever that book is over there. I don't even see what it is.
So the book that I have here is one I've had for a couple years now. It is called Fairy Magic. It's spells, potions, and lore from the earth spirits. It is written by, I'm like messing up my words right now, Serona Knight.
Oh, shit. I forgot to say who my book was from. I'll tell them in the next one.
So I'm going to start off with this one because they have sections here that is going through all kinds of different elements and herbs, stones, animal totems, all kinds of stuff. And so I went ahead and I went through and marked the ones that were related to love-related things. And so, again, these are ones, especially if you want to use fairy magic, these align with that kind of energy and what, you can call on the fays to help you with. So the first one is, we're going to talk about the herbs, is basil. So basil, as it says here, awakening your second sight, instilling passion and good luck, as well as attracting prosperity, strengthening love spells, and bringing happiness into your home. So again, if you want to strengthen a love spell and also to instill more passion, probably to a love spell or towards a person, basil is a really good one. Oh, I was confusing that with bay leaves for a second there. But yes, basil is one. The next two I have here is chamomile. So chamomile attracts money and love and is used for purification, meditation, and protecting the home from harmful energies. Plant chamomile as a garden ground cover to entice tiny flower fairies. When walked on, it smells delicious. Sprinkle the flowers around your home to get rid of unwanted energies, or drink chamomile tea before you go to sleep to dream of the fairy. So again, it attracts money and love. So if you want to combine a spell, that's a good one to use. The next one is clover, which fairies traditionally love clover. 2-leaf clover can be used in fairy magic spells to attract a lover. 3-leaf clover dispels negativity, brings protection. 4-leaf clover brings money, good luck, and prophecy. Plus, you can make an ointment with it to help you see the fairies. When you are in the woods or in the garden and you find a 4-leaf clover, hold it in your hand and then carefully put 7 grains of wheat or barley on the clover. Grasp the clover and grains in your hand to see the fairies. Finding 5-leaf clover represents treasure, but only if you give it to someone you care about.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah.
But yes, obviously, using a 2-leaf clover or, what was it? Yes, 2-leaf clover to attract a lover. So that's a good one to use. I would definitely say that you could turn that into a charm or a talisman to carry with you.
Is that it for that one?
Okay,
this is really fucking hilarious that she's talking about this, because the next thing I had marked in the book was 4-leaf clover charm. By the way, this little booklet here it's called Superstitions and Odd Beliefs from All Corners of the World: Magical Charms, Potions, and Secrets for Love. The largest collections of its specified types of occult curioso to be found anywhere, by C.A. Nagel. Okay? That's who this little pamphlet was written by back in the 70s, early 70s. Back in the hippie days, baby. Okay, so anyway, this 4-leaf clover charm. And when I'm reading these, it's really fascinating to see, the history and where do these people get these ideas. Some of them are very obvious, though. Okay, We're talking serious, angelic Book of Enoch crap, okay, in some of these. So anyway, this 4-leaf clover charm, the belief in the magical powers of the clover probably goes all the way back to the Druids as an offshoot of their veneration of the shamrock. 3, the most sacred number, was symbolized by the 3 leaves of the shamrock, and to some extent by the clover. And this is really fascinating because my tattoo that I have, it's like a bunch of vines, like thorny vines, and there are 3-leaf clovers all in it. So it came to follow in the minds of men, and the far rarer 4 leaves would be of greater significance in the indicating good fortune to the finder. Down through the centuries, the clover became a sort of generalized symbol of the beneficence. I can't even say that damn word right now. Anyway, but it actually had 4 attributes credited to it rather than just one. These are illustrated in the ancient doggerel: 1 leaf for fame, and 1 leaf for wealth, and 1 leaf for a faithful lover, and 1 to bring you glorious health. All are in a 4-leaf clover. So that's what that was for. So, I think I've found like 4-leaf clovers like maybe twice in my entire lifetime. You know, when I was like younger, a kid, because you just like sit there in the grass in the summer or something. You just stare at stuff and you like go to pick shit and you find them. But from my experience, it's like and the 4-leaf clover is like, okay, whatever. But I'm more about the 3-leaf clover for obviously reasons, what it just said. So go for it, Ciara.
So the next herb that we have here is heather. So associated with fairy queens and otherworldly adventure, a fairy magic love flower that instills passion, expands awareness, and makes the ideal offering on Beltane Eve to the fairies. So if you want to definitely instill more passion, there's another one. If you especially want to combine that with, which one was it? Was it basil? Yep, and basil. The next two that we have here are jasmine and lavender, which jasmine is used in love spells to attract sacred and spiritual love. Dream pillows stuffed with jasmine encourage dreams of the fairies in fairyland. Use it in sachets and love...
Sachets.
Sachets.
It's French.
Okay. And love charms to attract love and prosperity. Lavender, snip off a lavender flower and stem, roll the flower in your fingers, and then hold it up and inhale its scent. Do this for several minutes before doing fairy magic spells to expand your awareness and promote a harmonious state of mind. An herb of love, purification, and protection. Tie colorful ribbons around the springs of a lavender bush in your garden or in a flower pot to attract helpful fairies. Use lavender oil for anointing and in spiritual baths, and use the flower in sachets and charms. Okay, you can go ahead and go next.
All right.
Again, I have a lot of the plant.
I swear to God, I can't think of like when we do that. It's like it reminds me of what is it? History of the World Part 1.
How I know.
I love that. That's like my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. 7-knob wishing candle. Okay, so if you've been to a decent occult bookstore, metaphysical shop, you will usually see these candles. They're not too hard to get. If you want to actually buy one, I recommend Azure Green. I've ordered many things from them over the years, and I've never had a problem. They're really good with, shipping and stuff. And my ear is ringing really bad right now just talking about that. That's kind of trippy. Okay, so this occult candle is anointed with 2 oils, lover's oil and success oil. They can be used in either order, but only half of the candle is anointed with each oil. So basically what you do is you take the candle in your hands and like you put your hands in the middle, like, and you have like one oil in one hand and the other oil in the other hand. And then you slide like going from the center going out. Okay. So one oil is put, starting in the middle and continuing to the top. The other, see, there it goes right there. The other oil goes from the middle to the bottom. Each half must be thoroughly anointed. The ritual takes 7 days to complete. On the first night, the candle is lit and a wish regarding your love life is made. As soon as the first knob has burned away, the candle is extinguished. The burning should be done in a quiet, still place so the candle will burn evenly. Each night, the candle is again anointed, always in the same order as it was at the beginning. A knob is burned as the wish is repeated. After the 7th night, there is a week to wait to see what will result. After a week of waiting, if there is not a satisfactory answer to the wish, the ritual may be repeated. So you can get these oils and these candles and stuff totally easily online. It's not hard to get these. And you can actually use this kind of candle for any kind of spell, okay? Not just, love spells, but so that was that.
Alrighty. So the next ones that I have here are, let's see if I'm going to butcher the name on this one. Marjoram?
Yeah.
Marjoram. A fairy magic love herb that can be used for fertility and marriage magic, especially love potions. When grown in your garden, it invites joyful and happy fairies. So, especially if you're wanting to work anything in regards to fertility or marriage, that's a really good one. Meadowsweet.
Oh my God. Isn't that one of the most beautiful smelling things?
No, one of the finest.
Yeah, finest things you ever did smell.
A sacred herb of the fairies used for love spells, to warm the heart, and to promote passion, peace, and joy. And then the next one here is mistletoe, an herb of the in-between times of dawn and dusk, and a favorite of fire fairies. Fairies hold mistletoe in their hands or carry it to keep themselves externally beautiful and youthful. Gather mistletoe on the 6th night of the moon or on Midsummer's Eve. Mm-hmm. Use the wood to make a powerful protection and healing talisman, amulet, or wand. Because it grows every which way, upside down, upright, and sideways, it is the ideal herb to add when doing spells that push the proverbial envelope. A sacred herb of the goddess of love, it is especially useful in love spells and for getting rid of unwanted energies. Hang 3 sprigs of mistletoe in your bedroom to bring fairy dreams of prophecy. Note, never ingest the berries of the mistletoe as they are poisonous.
Exactly, and it grows up in trees. And it is actually, I think it is considered a fungus, isn't it?
Yes, I think it is.
Something like that.
It's definitely considered a parasite to the tree.
Yeah.
But technically, I don't think it kills the tree.
And I think you're supposed to actually, like, there's a traditional way you're supposed to cut it. And I believe it is with, like, a brass or copper or something like that, like scythe that you're supposed to use to cut it.
I think
there's like
something like that.
I can't remember what it is right now, but it is something like that. That's like, yeah.
There's a lot of mythology and tradition tied around mistletoe, especially if you happen to be into Norse mythology.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, then the next ones are like some short ones and they're fun, okay? Wolf fur, folks. Yes, wolf fur. Because it's just so easy to procure wolf fur, you know? Actually, last time I was around a wolf, believe it or not, you guys, I was in South Beach and there was a woman and she had a wolf and it was huge and she was beautiful. The woman was, and the dog, but it's like they both were pretty. And I was like freaking out when I saw her. I was like, holy shit, oh my God. Because I was just like, I love wolves. So I walked up to her and I'm like, oh my God, that is amazing. How do you have a wolf? You know, and I was just talking to her. She's like, you can totally pet her if you want. I'm like, hell yes, I want to pet her. And she was so sweet. It was a female wolf and she was just so fucking big and her hair was so wiry. It was just like, you could tell it was so thick. It's like they're totally meant to withstand cold and stuff. And I thought it was fucking hilarious that this wolf is in Miami. Okay. But it says a small piece of wolf fur was said to be a most powerful love charm. When brought near the one desired, it was said to bring forth very strong thoughts of love from both concerned. And so underneath that in the book, it says a love doll. Make a doll of wax, dough, clay, wood, or any material that can easily be shaped. A brass pin is pushed through the heart. The doll is named for the one desired, and the brass pin is thought to draw his or her love to the maker of the doll. And that totally reminds me of Witches of Eastwick. When they're making the wax doll of him, and they're like shoving the pins in it. Yeah. So I'm going to finish reading the ones on this page before Ciara goes. So we have Emerald Charm. Okay. And if you've listened to our tarot readings, then you know when we've pulled the emerald card, what it's all about. But this beautiful green stone, symbolic of Venus, and it's kind of funny because we are recording this on Friday, which is all Venus.
And the full moon.
Yep. So beautiful green stone, symbolic of Venus, is worn or carried in some form of jewelry, and it is thought to be the most powerful of all natural love charms. It attracts the true love of either sex. Also, it is said to reveal the falsity of a lover in that its color would fade somewhat if there was an unfaithfulness on the part of the one who would receive the stone as a gift from the original owner.
Wow.
And, you know, there is some truth to that about emeralds fading. It's like they are incredibly sensitive to light. Same with anything in that family. I think is it the Burrell family? I can't remember.
Yes.
So an aquamarine is basically a lighter version of an emerald, by the way. And they are highly, sensitive to heat and to sunlight. So they can change color. That is true. So moving right along, we have love powder. Use a mortar and pestle to grind to powder equal parts of mistletoe berries. There you go. Elecampane herb and vervain herb. These botanicals should be well dried before you start. Put some of the mixture into food or beverage to be served to the one desired. This is a very ancient potion, clearly, because it's before people knew that mistletoe is fucking poisonous.
Yeah.
What in the literal fuck?
That's crazy.
So do not fucking do that, people. Don't do that unless you want to go to prison. Okay. So, I'm like very curious as to what was the ratios that they used, because it doesn't say that here.
No.
All right. And, but I'm giving you history on the backgrounds of stuff. Okay. So that's what this is about. And then there's actual stuff in here that you can do, but, moving right along, we have, cubeb potion, cubeb. Is that how you say it? Cubebs, a pepper, are ground into a powder and mixed with honey or some sweet beverage and drunk in small amounts, said to arouse passion and erection. And that is true, because peppers have, what is it they do to your blood? I'm trying to think what the fuck it does. It like causes, oh God. Well, I know that peppers like boost your metabolism, and it does something to the blood flow. So I don't know if it constricts the blood flow. I can't remember what it does, but yeah, I can see where it would cause like, the mythos around it to cause an erection, because it can stimulate like that. It can cause you to get warm. So people probably associated that with like passion or something. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. So anyway, jade. Here we go with jade. Among the Chinese, jade is considered the solidified essence of love. A piece of jade, carved or not, is thought to be a talisman of the greatest value in securing love and romance. And for those of you who are interested, the ladies out there, you can buy jade yoni eggs. And that's literally what they used to do in ancient China, like the
empresses and concubines.
Yep,
would use
they
them.
would use them, and what they would put them in their yoni, and it actually strengthens and tightens. It's like basically a vagina weight, okay? Mm-hmm. But then you get like the magical properties out of the jade as you wear it, and it strengthens that, so it makes sex way more pleasurable. So there you go. Your turn.
All right. So, next up, we have pansy. So, a favorite flower of Oberon, king of the fairies, used in fairy magic love spells. Then we have passion flower. Sprinkle the flowers on your doorstep and in your home to bring peace and harmony and to attract protective and happy fairies. Tie small bundles of passion flowers together with colorful pink and red ribbons and put them in your bedroom to attract your beloved. The rose, of course rose is going to be in here. Rose, the apple of the flower kingdom and a fairy favorite. Plant roses in your garden and dedicate them to the flower fairies to assure that helpful fairies visit often. Use roses in fairy magic love spells for healing, to bring good luck, and to attract wealth and abundance. Sprinkle rose petals on the ground on a full moon and dance upon them, or take a rosebud bath to see the fairies, or drink rosebud tea to dream of fairyland. Remember to use caution when ingesting roses, as some are poisonous. And then we have saffron. A fire and winged fairy favorite, use saffron to strengthen spells, especially healing and love spells. Also used for seeing into fairyland. Then we have the last of the kind of like plant herb ones. We have sunflowers. A favorite flower of the fairies. Make sunflower crowns and wear them during a full moon to encourage visions of fairy queens and kings. Use the seeds in prosperity, fertility, and love spells. And finally, we have violets. Plant violets around your home to protect it and to invite helpful fairies into your yard and garden. Make and wear violet crowns on a full moon to see the fairy queens and kings. This is a powerful love flower used in love spells when mixed with others such as rose, yarrow, lavender, and daisies.
That's really interesting, because all around my house, literally in the spring, there are a shit ton of wild violets everywhere. So that's cool. I love it. And that's actually my birth flower. Like, you have your birth stone, and then there's the flower that, is your birth flower, and mine is violet. So moving right along. Okay. We're going to get it. This is a little bit longer one, and it is the wax figure love charm. As we mentioned that earlier, this is like a little bit, this is kind of interesting. Okay. Cause I'm going to be saying some Latin here, and I hope, My Latin sucks, but I didn't take Latin or anything. So hopefully for all y'all out there who know Latin, please cut me some slack because, I don't walk around speaking Latin all day. But, and I hope I pronounce it correctly. I do watch a lot of Supernatural, and you believe it or not, you do pick up on it from watching it for years. So here we go. The wax figure love charm, okay? This charm from the Middle Ages probably was used for both men and women depending on who made it and the purpose intended, okay? If a woman desired a certain man, she could make the wax figure representing him. On the forehead of the wax doll, she would carefully write his name in the wax. Her own name would be written on the wax breast. Into the letters, she would rub blood drawn from the third finger of the left hand. Next, she would place a needle into the heart, the pelvis, the back, and the head. Now a fire was kindled, and it was consecrated in the name of the maker. A consecration such as follows could be used. I exorcise thee, O creature of fire, in the name of, and then you say the name of the operator, and by him by whom all things are created. Extabor, Hedabor, Sitaya, Sitaya, maybe? Adonai, Onzo, Zomen, Mentor, Asmadi, Alchemos, Escribi, Comado, Erone, maybe? Profas, Damath? Yeah, Damnath. There we go, Damnath. Erez, Golandes, maybe? Kofi, Zades. Oh, you bright angels of God, I pray that through thee and your help that I may find success. Sorry for the freaking slow, but it takes, it's kind of dark where I'm sitting, so I can't read it that well, but whatever. This conjuration combines both fire and wax consecrations according to the ancient books of magic and were deemed very necessary for accomplishing the magical act. The wax figure is sprinkled with mustard seed and salt and placed in the fire. After the fire has turned to ashes, the operator's name was written in those ashes to complete the charm. Kindle the flame and kindle the passionate desires was the intent. So, like, after you burn it down, you take the ashes. That's exactly what they do. Well, in like, they're kind of, it's like not fucking far off. It's pretty true what they do in Witches of Eastwick. They take all the shit, they have the picture, the hair, the cloth, all this stuff, and they throw it in the cauldron, they set it on fire, they burn the shit out of it, and then they freaking form the wax figure. They make a little space for his heart, and then they dump the ash of it into the figure, and then they do the what they're doing. They do the spell. So that's what that is. So you want me to finish doing the ones on this page?
Sure.
So here's a little tidbit, okay? And this is a little back history, is a little small snippet about Spanish fly, okay? So Spanish fly, also called cantharides, maybe? Cantharides, okay? One of the most dangerous and deadly of the aphrodisiac. Almost everyone has heard wondrous tales of the effects of Spanish fly can produce. Most of these tales are false. Spanish fly has a sexual effect as a byproduct of its irritation and inflammation of the urinary tract. If more than a very tiny amount is used, the inflammation in both the urinary and stomach area may be so severe as to cause a most unpleasant death. So think about it. These people back in the day, fucking sucking this shit down. It's like, God, do you even know what you're doing to yourself? I mean, it's like you're causing your pee hole to go on fire.
That's so, no.
I know. So here's another fun one, and you could actually get this at your local freaking vitamin shop, okay? Yohimbe bark works similar to Spanish fly in that it affects the nerves of the lower spine and genital area. It is not as dangerous as Spanish fly, but does contain a poisonous alkaloid. Used in excess, it could be most unhealthy. Tampering with the spinal nervous system could cause permanent damage to the body. So I don't know what they're freaking giving you when you buy this kind of stuff in the store. I'm sure I've seen it like sold all over the place. I don't know anybody who's taken it. So I mean, if there's a guy out there who's listening to this, if you've taken it, what does it do to you? Like, how did it affect you? I'm curious. So moving right along, sapphire charm. This regal gem is thought to confer good fortune on husband and wife and all true lovers, married or not. It can be worn in any form of jewelry or unadorned. It can be of several colors, any of which are considered to have the same magical qualities. A sapphire may be a deep blue, but it also can be blue-gray and almost pure white. The famous star sapphires are cut from the off-colored stone. As a love charm, the sapphire is considered most valuable to those born under the signs of Aquarius, Libra, and Virgo. So, and then the last one is, for peace and harmony between man and wife, carry a stone on which is engraved Andromeda, with her hair flowing over her shoulders. Andromeda is spoken of in ancient Greek mythology. So you might want to look into that. If, like, you know, you're married, that's a good one.
So, moving along on my book, we're in the section now talking about fairy magic trees. So, the first of which is almond. The key magical uses are for wealth, success, love, to expand your awareness. Apricot, which is for love, creativity, mental clarity, expanded awareness. We also have cherry with love, joy, playfulness, and divination. Then hawthorn, Hawthorn for ancestry, shape-shifting, prosperity, family, inheritance, sacred union, love magic, and fertility spells. Then we have orange, which is love, prosperity, divination, good luck, joy, and happiness. Peach, so friendship, love, good luck, passion, playfulness, joy. And finally, pine with protection, purification, regeneration, love, prosperity, and abundance. And then moving right along, we get into the section on stones and metals. The first of which is one my twin is going to know very well, and that is amber. Which amber...
I'm wearing one right now.
...is actually a tree resin used for love magic, happiness, divination, protection, attracting dryrads and other earth and air fairies such as the dwarfs, which is really fucking fascinating considering Norse mythology.
Yeah, and this is, you know, in Norse mythology, amber is Freya's tears. And it's kind of funny because to get the necklace that, you know, she wears,
she has to go to the dwarves.
She gets it on with several dwarves. Okay, that's her payment to get this necklace. So
the next crystal is a classic one. If you're going to work any kind of magic, next to clear quartz, this is the other one that you should probably have in your witchy cabinet, is amethyst.
Oh yeah, they talk about in this book too.
Which is all about protection, healing, love, divination, dreams of fairyland, banishing nightmares, and mental clarity. And the last one I'll say for right now before I let my twin go ahead and do the next page on hers is carnelian. And carnelian is for personal power, sexuality, creativity, past lives, protection, courage, focus, motivation, attracts fire and garden fairies. So definitely if you want to light the passion and the fire and that sexuality, carnelian is a really good one to use for all of that. So, take it away.
So these next couple ones are fucking hilarious. I find them funny, except one of them is not so funny because I know it can fucking work. Okay? So the first one is to cause a woman to submit to love. Okay? This one goes out to all the boys out there. I could just imagine some guy doing this. I'd be like, what the fuck are you saying to me? So it says, touch the woman and say, bestarbedo corrumpit viscera ejus mulieris. Mulieris. This Latin phrase destroys her resistance. Good luck. Good luck. Oh, that's so fucking funny. I swear to God, it depends on who's saying it, okay? Let me just put it to you that way. I mean, if some really hot dude walked up and was like saying that, whispering it in your ear, they're not going to give a fuck what you're saying. I mean, they're just going to be like, okay.
Well, then I guess it worked. Then.
Yeah, I know. Okay, now this one is for the ladies. It says to arouse a man's desire. If a woman puts a drop of her menstrual fluid in a man's alcoholic drink,
This is from Midsummer's.
he will fall in love with her. Okay, yeah. Okay, blood like that.
Any kind of blood magic is going to be potent shit, which is why you don't fuck around with it unless you know what you're doing. And
Exactly.
especially don't go putting your blood in fucking people's cups and shit without, one, them agreeing to it, and two, that's just not sanitary.
If your boyfriend's a vampire, it's perfectly okay.
That's true.
Oh, God, anyway. All right, so next one up is a love charm. Take the stone from a fresh peach and split it in half. In the hollow, place a small amount of pink sachet powder called love powder. Seal the two halves together with glue. With a sharp point, or better yet, an electric engraver, engrave a heart on one side of the peach stone and the word Shiva on the other side. Pierce a hole through the stone so that a string or small chain can be strung through it. The charm can then be suspended from the neck. It can also be carried in the pocket and is said to encourage the love of the opposite sex. So therefore, that's not directed at any specific person. That's just to make you fucking hot. So, go for it. I think that one's kind of cool, actually. It's kind of fascinating. So that was it from that page, girl.
All right, so back on the crystal kick here. The next one is one that we've already talked about, and that is, of course, emerald. So emerald, fairy love magic, healing, patience, growth, meditation, attracts garden and woodland fairies and fairy queens and kings. Then we have garnet, which I can speak on garnet doing some shit. But it's friendship, faithfulness, strength, protection, I can't ever mess up this word. Virility, trust, and balance. When I got my garnet stone and I was holding it a lot, I was like sleeping with it. It definitely, for me personally, bumped up the libido shit. It really did. I found it to be a potent stone for that. Next up is moonstone. So moon magic, good fortune, fertility, fairy love magic, healing, receptivity, intuition, divination, artistic pursuits, balancing emotions. And of course, the other one that if you don't have in your witchy cabinet, you really need to have this in your witchy cabinet. And that is, of course, rose quartz.
Of course.
Which is friendship, fairy love and healing magic, romance, balancing emotions, fairy inspiration and gifts, adapting to change, forgiveness, attunement, faith, fertility, and compassion. And on this page, we also have ruby, strength, magical fairy power, protection, insight, creativity, passion, friendship, clarity, attracts fairy queens and kings. And the last two are one that we've also talked about here, which is sapphire. Psychic development, creativity, passion, stimulates energy centers, communication with the fairies. And the last one is topaz. Fairy messages, knowledge, loyalty, higher love, and creativity.
Okay, so from my page here, we have a love ball. An old Spanish love charm. Take some soft wax and mix it into some incense, straw, the herb rosemary, and some hair from the one whose love is desired. Mix well together and form into a ball. This ball is carried in the pocket or purse to draw the love to you. So yeah, that's another thing. Like nail clippings, hair, blood, body fluids in general. These things are all used in magic, depending on what it is. But yes, hair is another potent one.
That's why you have to be careful where you leave your hair.
Yeah, and not only that, but that's like, when dolls were made, that's why some of these dolls are haunted,
so potent.
Because they actually had, like back in like Victorian times and stuff, and even before that, they would take actual human hair and use it on the doll,
or they use literally hair of like the child whose doll it was going to be, because a lot of time they would make like mini versions of whoever the kid was that was going to have the doll, so it was like a mini version of them, and they would use their actual hair.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because we literally have, like right over here, there is a like picture that is a little boy and a little girl, and in the frame it's like they have actual hair, and that is literally the hair of my husband's ancestors. So yeah, that's kind of trippy. So that's been in my house for a while now. I don't get any kind of weird vibes off it or anything like that. So it's just kind of a trip to know that that's what's there. I literally have his hair because he used to have really long hair. And when it was cut off, I still have his ponytail. I think I have, do I have Soren's hair too?
I think you might. I definitely have a big chunk of my own hair from when I cut it short one time.
Yeah, so it's like, I actually saved hair. It's kind of, I think that I have or somebody has some of my grandmother's hair too. So anyway, moving right along. So that was love ball. So love filtering. Dry the heart of a dove. Okay, now remember what I said about freaking them using animals in old times. Okay, so I'm just reading you historical stuff here. So this is what people did. All right. Dry the heart of a dove, the womb of a swallow, the liver of a sparrow, and the kidney of a hare. With mortar and pestle, reduce them to a very fine powder. Add to this an equal amount of your own blood, also dried and powdered in like fashion. Then, to gain the love of a man or woman, 2 large pinches of the powder is placed in a drink to be imbibed by the one desired. So basically, you're slipping them a freaking love Mickey. You're it's like a roofie, a love roofie, an ancient love roofie. That's what that is. Okay. So then we have love amulet, and right here there's actually a picture of what it's supposed to look like, so I can put that in the stories. A very ancient Kabbalistic amulet written on the strip of parchment and used by either woman or man to gain the love of the opposite sex. The ink should be the juices of lilies and crocuses mixed together with the pen point. Mixed together, and the pen point should be of copper. The finished parchment is carried near the heart. So basically, this little thing right here is written. It looks like a Nokian, honestly.
Probably is.
And it's written on a little thing, and then you carry it in a charm or like a little vial or something near your heart. And you can get those, by the way, online. It's not hard to get it, or a little bag, and you wear it as a charm. So next is a love spell. The proper mood must be established by advising the woman that you will predict when she will become a bride. Gaining her devout attention and looking her straight in the eye, you will say, "Caffi, casita non kefela et pubilla fili omnibus suis." Sus. Is that how you say it?
Is that how you say it? How am I supposed to tell you?
I don't know. Swiss? Maybe Swiss. She will now do whatever you say.
I don't think so.
In your fucking dreams, bitch. Maybe for some stupid, person, but not for me, baby. No. I'd be like, what the fuck are you saying to me? So that is that all I have on this page? Oh, here we go. Getting a man back after a quarrel. Yeah. Using a clean new needle, draw some amount of blood from the third finger of the left hand. Use the needle and blood to write your initials and the man's on a small piece of wood. Draw 3 circles around the initials and bury the wood in the ground. Within 3 days, the quarrel will be patched up. Okay, then. Next.
So now we're moving to the section of this book that has legit, spell work and whatnot in it. And so the first chapter they start with is romance and love. So what I will say that a lot of these, they can be kind of general spells that you can do for anything. It just matters on what intention you're setting for it. And again, using the certain kind of ingredients that I was already listing helps to determine what intention you're using it for. And, what your intention with working with the Fae to bring these certain things with. So the first one listed here is a fairy tree spell. So it says, all trees have a spirit or dryad within them. You can commune with the dryads of trees and ask them for fairy gifts and favors. Never carve runes into living trees, as it often harms them and angers the dryad within. Instead, trace initials, runes, and other magical symbols on trees and other living things with scented oils. Use consecrated oils associated with the fairies, such as amber, rose, and lavender when doing fairy magic. The elemental energies of the concentrated oils combine with the fairy energies to create powerful magic. Do this spell in early spring on a sunny day during a waxing moon when the fruit trees are blossoming. You can do this spell by yourself or you can do it with your beloved. A blossoming fruit tree is what you're going to need: apple, cherry, apricot, plum, nectarine, peach, or pear, amber scented oil. First step is to find a blossoming fruit tree and walk around it clockwise 3 times. As you do, softly chant, "Spirit of the tree, blessed be." Step 2 is use the scented oil to anoint yourself and your beloved, and then trace your initials and your beloved's initials on the tree trunk. Trace over them 3 times with the oil. Draw a heart around your initials and then trace six 5-pointed stars around the heart. Put both of your hands on the tree and say, "Beautiful blossoming fruit tree, bless us with your love so sweet, young and old, strong and free. By the divine spirit of this tree, so be it, blessed be." Step 4 is now walk around the tree clockwise 6 more times, all the while chanting, "Spirit of the tree, blessed be." So that is like a sweet little kind of spell, obviously, to do with your person. Again, getting consent with your person to do this, and as a way to bless you both. And it almost feels like as kind of a way to kind of tie your love and the longevity of your love to the spirit of the tree as well, or have the tree kind of help bless that for longevity, and again, the blossoming and the fertility that is associated with these fruit trees. So that is the first one from this book.
So next, this one cracked me up kind of. It says, "Ancient Arabian potion. For male virility, mix mastic with honey and drink every morning." Okay. So, and underneath that we have a love ointment. Grind to powder pellitory of Spain herb, ginger root in equal quantities. Mix with the powder a small amount of lilac oil to make a smooth paste. Apply this mixture to the genital area to stimulate the passions. I see. Well, I don't see, but I see. So next one is Talisman of Isis. And there's an actual picture of it, okay? It says, "A love talisman that is engraved on metal or drawn on parchment. The talisman represents the trefoil plant. This talisman is given to the one whose love is desired. It is given only as a gift or curio. The purpose of the giving is never divulged." So you give it to the person you want, and you don't tell them what it is. You just give it to them. So I don't know about that one. That makes me feel a little funky.
It's a little suspicious.
Especially when there's this design on it, okay? Whatever. So this next one is candle love rituals, and this is like basic. This is going to be intro. We're actually going to do some stuff about candle magic, and we can do like candle magic spells and stuff in a different one, but there are innumerable such rituals in occult lore, and they can be more or less complex. Many of them are described fully in books devoted to such rituals. As an easy form of love candle burning is to inscribe the names of both lovers or ones involved in any manner on a candle and anoint the candle with love oil. The candle is then allowed to burn until consumed. A simple prayer from the heart should be spoken upon lighting the candle. And that's basically what candle magic is. What I like to do when I'm doing candle magic is like sit there and like, stare at the flame for a while.
Yeah, kind of like in combining with candle scrying.
Yeah, exactly.
Scrying.
And then just like meditating, and then you get like messages that way as well. So that's what I like to do.
So the next one here is a fairy feather charm. The birds are often said to be the fairies in disguise. Most likely, when you have been out in nature, you have happened upon a bird feather on the ground or a bush, a tree. These feathers are little fairy gifts, and that can lead you to higher and more fulfilling love. The magical meanings of these feathers is determined by their colors as follows. Note, bird feathers may carry disease, so be careful to clean your feathers and your hands when handling them, of course. So for white feathers, if you find white feathers, it's about birth, initiation, love, joy, purity.
That's true.
A blue one is a gift, love, and happiness. Green, magic, adventure, dreams, prosperity, new ventures. A rose-colored one is romance, love, spiritual union. Red is magic, good luck, love, passion, and fortune. Yellow is friendship, fellowship, and companionship. Orange is happiness to come in the future. Brown is good health, happy home, and good fortune. Gray is peace of mind, tranquility, harmony, wisdom. Blue and white is a new love, a love affair. Brown and white is good health and much happiness. Gray and white, a new and happy event or situation. And then it says, make this fairy feather charm on or just before a full moon to help your love life soar to new heights. So a white or blue fresh flowers, a white or blue feather, jasmine scented oil, a photo of yourself, a photo of the one you love, a rose-colored pouch. Step 1 is after the moon rises, take everything you need for the charm and go outdoors. You can also do this work near a picture window where you can see the moon. Step 2 is draw a fairy magic ring and scatter the fresh flowers clockwise around the ring. Then draw a magic circle and call in the fairy guardians. 3, anoint yourself with the scented oil and then anoint the feather with the oil. Put the feather in the pouch and then add the photos so that they face each other, with the feather positioned between them. 4, close the pouch, anoint it with the scented oil, empower it by holding in your hands and saying 3 times, winged fairies, blessed be, may my love fly to me. By north, east, south, and west, may our love be divinely blessed. Step 5, when you are done, thank the winged fairies, bid farewell to the fairy guardians, and pull up the circle. 6, put the charm under your mattress or bed to bring more joy and love into your life. Recharge it once a month by anointing it with the jasmine oil, holding it in your hands and repeating, winged fairies, blessed be, may my love fly to me, by north, east, south, and west, may our love be divinely blessed.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Speaking of interesting, this next one, okay, this one is older than the fucking pyramids, okay, that I'm going to do. It's pretty old, all right, and it is the 17th century seal of love, okay, well, this is 17th century, but it is based on something really effing old, okay, known as the 9th table of the spirits of Venus, okay. As with the 4th seal, shown elsewhere in this book, this seal is drawn with red ink or engraved. If procurable, skin parchment is to be used instead of paper, since it will last much longer. Naturally, engravings on metal are the longest wearing of the types. And when they mean skin, they mean like animal skin, okay, like leather or goat skin, or I don't think they mean human skin, but I wouldn't put it past some sick fuck from the past to do something like that. Okay, I guarantee they probably have. And I think that's what that Black Bible was said to be bound in, was human skin or some shit like that. Yeah. So anyway, there's like an actual picture of it here. And it says, after making or buying this seal, the following conjuration is spoken over it before carrying it on the person. Okay, now this is more Latin, y'all. So it's like,
Here we go.
I mean, one of these words on here, I'm just like, what the fuck? I don't even know how the hell you pronounce it. So I'm going to probably end up butchering some of these. So bear with me, folks. After making, okay, Reta Kijma? Is that how you say it? Kayama, maybe? Yamb. Oh, Jesus. Look at this. CR, you got to see this. Yelio Rufio. So
What am I reading?
right here.
Oh, that's like a 20-letter word.
Yellow Rufus Sophiel. Yellow Rufus Sophiel, maybe? I don't know. I call upon the spirit owl through God Tetragrammaton. U-Haul by Pomiak. That you will obey my commands and fulfill my desires, thus truly in and through the name of, oh geez, Esser Shiji or something like that. I'm sorry, you guys, I don't know how to pronounce this word. Esser Kaiji, maybe, which Moses named, and upon which followed hail, like the like of which was not known since the beginning of the world. See, this shit's fucking old, okay? And then it says FFF. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. Okay, in the ancient book of Magick, famous in Germany, the seal is described thusly. The ninth table of the spirits of Venus makes one beloved in all respects and makes known secrets through dreams. Its spirits also assist liberally in all kinds of business. And then it says here, see page 27 regarding the general citation in reference to the seal. So like I said, I'm going to have to do more research on how to pronounce some of these words, because literally I've never seen these before. And usually I'm really good with angel names and stuff, but these ones are like, bleh, it's like, I don't know how you pronounce some of the...
This isn't just normal angel names. These are advanced.
They are.
Angel names.
And this is like super old, and they take it from some really old shit. So that's it from that page. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'll take a picture of this and I'll put it up on my Instagram in a highlight. So then you guys can try to decipher it. If you guys know about this, or if you've heard of this one, please do comment. Okay, go.
So this next one is a real simple kind of funny, silly one. And again, this is one that you could use for multiple different things probably. And it is a puffball fairy wish. So children and adults alike enjoy making wishes by blowing on puffballs. Use this fun and easy fairy wish to make your most cherished love wish come true.
Wait, by puffball, do you mean dandelions?
Yeah, it's a dandelion.
Oh, I love those. Who doesn't love those? Who didn't do that as a child? Isn't it funny how we just inherently know to do that shit when we're kids?
Good. Well, when you're a kid, you're closer to that realm anyway.
Yes, you are.
So what you'll need is fresh flowers, a love wish, a dandelion that has seeded into a puffball. Step 1 is pick the puffball on the night of a full moon in the spring or summer. Step 2, set up your fairy magic ring and scatter the fresh flowers around it clockwise. Then draw your fairy magic circle and call in the fairy guardians. 3, focus on the various aspects of your wish, the touch, the smell, the color, the size, and so forth. The more definitive you are in what you want, the more chance you have of getting it. Step 4, now go to each of the 4 directions, beginning with the north point, holding the puffball in your right hand. Say, "O great and shining powers of the fairy, let your loving energies fill this seed. In the name of the generous fairies, blessed be." Upon returning again to the north point, use your breath to blow the spores from the stem, and as you do so, imagine your wish becoming part of the wind and the overall elements. Feel the power of the fairy coming into the circle, helping your wish to come true. When you are done, thank the fairies, bid farewell to the fairy guardians, and pull up the circle.
I love that. That one's cute. I like that one. It's happy. It makes me feel happy. Okay, so next one in this book, and I honestly don't know if we're going to be able to get through all this in this podcast. We're going to probably have to cut it off pretty soon here.
Yeah.
And we'll continue it in the next one, because this is going to be a long one. And I haven't even gotten to the other book yet. Yeah. Like I say, there's only a couple in that one, but maybe I'll do that one next after this, and we'll break this up, because this is like super, this one's trip. So anyways, this is a charm to create love. Tie 3. Now this one I like this one. I think this one is some OG shit right here. Okay. It says tie 3 strings together and place them in a jar. 1 string is red, 1 is brown, and the 3rd is yellow. Leave them there for 6 days. On the 7th day, pour some jasmine oil over them. Be sure there is enough of the jasmine oil so that the strings are well covered with it. Allow this to steep for a day. Then stir and press firmly the mixture until the jasmine oil has become thoroughly colored by the dyes in the strings. Soak a white cloth in barley water and lay out flat to dry. The next day at sunrise, use a pen or small brush and the colored jasmine oil as an ink to print the following square on the white cloth. And then there's a bunch of letters put in a square, okay? As soon as you have finished the square, put the cloth between a pair of stones and keep it hidden for 2 days. On the 3rd day, take out the cloth and name aloud the names of the man and the woman who are to love each other. One of the names can be your own if that is your purpose. The calling out of the names should be done on each of the following 3 days to complete the charm. I like that one. Hold on, I got a really bad itch on my back, you guys. So, and then what else is on this page? Oh, we have a fun aphrodisiac one for you.
Oh, goody.
Okay. Aphrodisiac. Make a tea with black snake root, which is Semicifunga resimosa, maybe? Is that how you say it? It's Latin again. And a small amount of whiskey per cup of tea. Yeah, this will get you fucking randied, all right?
Seriously.
1 capful at the opportune time is said to rouse desire in a man or woman. Alcohol can be helpful in such situations, but it should be remembered that an excess of alcohol has a depressant effect. Thus, when this old recipe calls for a small amount of whiskey, prudence should be observed in the measuring. And I'm just going to say this, you guys, for people who drink a lot of alcohol, especially if you're a male, this probably isn't a good thing to do because it makes it so your dick cannot get very hard. So don't be an alcoholic. I highly advise you not to be one, okay? So there you go. Ciara? Wait, before you go any further, this is like really long and I'm, don't know if I want to read that one.
So maybe stop with that book right at that one and then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we're probably, I'm going to do this one in here because, I like what this one says right here. Okay, go ahead.
So the next one we got here is Rose Fairy Love Blessing. The fairies, flowers, and magic are interwoven in a rich and ancient tapestry. As the queen of fairy flowers, the rose is the universal symbol of love. The ultimate flowering of the spirit, the rose symbolizes matter made divine. In Roman mythology, Flora, the flower goddess, pleaded with the other gods and goddesses to turn her immortal essence into the mortal rose after the death of her favorite nymph. This rose fairy love blessing uses the divine essence of the rose to protect and bless those you love. You can do the blessing alone or in the presence of a loved one, any evening you like. For the strongest power, say this blessing on Midsummer's Eve. For the best results, use a fresh rose from your garden, a neighbor's garden with permission, or a wild rose from nature. So what you'll need is a small piece of rose quartz, 1 rose, pink, peach, or red, a clean sheet of white paper, a 9-inch length of pink ribbon, and rose-scented oil. So step 1 is just before dusk, when the crickets are silent, walk backwards very slowly and quietly toward a specific rose bush. Spin clockwise 3 times and then face the bush. Spend a few minutes just tuning into the beauty of the roses, smelling their fragrant and heady scent. Feel the soft velvet petals of the roses. 2. Snip off 1 rose from the bush. Thank the rose fairies and then take the rose inside and place it on your altar. Step 3. Draw your fairy magic ring and circle and call in the fairy guardians. If you're doing this fairy blessing with your lover, then invite him or her into your circle now. 4. Place the rose and the piece of rose quartz on the sheet of paper. Roll them loosely up in the paper. Then secure the paper with the pink ribbon, knotting the ribbon 3 times. 5. Put a drop of rose essential oil on each of the 3 knots in the ribbon. Hold the paper with the rose in your power hand and have your loved one place his or her hand on top of yours. If you're doing this blessing in the absence of your loved one, then visualize your beloved for a few minutes while holding the paper with the rose and stone. Say this blessing aloud to your loved one. Each dawn, morning, day, and eve, every night and midnight of your life. May the love and affection of the earth fairies be with you. May the love and affection of the winged fairies be with you. May the love and affection of the light fairies be with you. May the love and affection of the water fairies be with you. May the love and affection of the helpful fairies be with you. May they lead you into romance, love, and sweet passion, and bless and guide you into the divine loving light. By the power of the loving, I'm going to mess up this word when I say it. Sithe? Damn it, I've heard this word before and I can't pronounce it.
Gaelic.
I know it is Gaelic.
Yeah.
Blessed be.
Yes, blessed be.
Step 6. Thank the rose fairies for their love and blessings, and then pull up the circle and release the guardians. Put the paper with the rose and stone in a safe place until Yule, winter solstice. Step 7. During Yule, take the rose out carefully and place it over your heart. Visualize your loved one, silently telling them that you love him or her, saying the blessing again to your beloved. Step 8. When you are finished, place the rose under the bush you took it from and bury the piece of rose quartz at its base as an offering to the Fae. Thank the rose fairies for their love, blessings, and affection. Oh, wait. I skipped a page. Yep, that's it for that one. That one takes some time.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go from our Magical Charms and Potions book to a book that recently I just picked up. And it's about puppets and magical dolls. Dolls for spellwork, witchcraft, and seasonal celebrations. It's by Lucia Starza, I think is how you say the name. Okay, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Okay, but basically what this is it's basically an edible puppet. All right, which I'm going to give you the background on this a little bit. According to folklorist Edward Lovett, edible dolls representing famous people were a traditional custom all over Europe in the past. They were often buns or gingerbread. An example he gave in the Handbook of Exhibition of the Lovett Collection of Dolls in 1914 was gingerbread models of Wellington, sold at fairs in England in the 1850s. Eating the gingerbread was considered a way of taking in the noble qualities of the person. You could make a gingerbread person in the shape of a superhero or other heroic archetype and eat it to imbue yourself with those qualities. There's a recipe for one type of gingerbread doll in chapter 8. And basically, yes, people have like baked bread and baked goods and formed it into like, forms of gods or goddesses or whatever. This is something that's been done longer than that throughout history.
Yeah.
So basically what this is, it is a gingerbread figure of loveliness. It's a recipe for it. And in general, I would recommend doing spells to make yourself feel more attractive rather than casting spells on other people to make them desire you.
Exactly.
See, here's a person who's agreeing with Ciara and I. This one involves making a sweet gingerbread person using honey, cinnamon, and ginger. And the recipe's right here, and I can screenshot it or take a picture of it and then put it up on the thing. And then it's basically you can use any recipe you want. Okay, like say if you're vegan or something, find like a gingerbread, or you can just use sugar cookie or whatever the hell kind of cookie you like, but it has to be like a dough that you form into a shape. Okay,
I would think that you could probably also add in like rose
or
whatnot into that as well.
Yeah, you can use like any of the herbs that are edible that aren't going to taste like ass. Like lavender would be a good one. I mean, you can use jasmine because there's edible jasmine flowers. There's rose. That would be really, really fucking rad to do at Beltane, actually.
Yeah.
To like add all those, edibles into, and I don't mean fucking weed. I don't mean that kind of edibles. The edible flowers into your, like a sugar cookie. Mm-hmm. And then.
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah. And then make it into some shapes or whatever. And then it says, once the gingerbread people or sugar cookie or whatever recipe you're using are baked and cooled, pick the very nicest looking one. You can give it a smiling face with icing if you like, but that isn't essential. Cast a circle and enchant your gingerbread person, saying, I name you sweet, desirable, lovely, and gorgeous. Then, while still in the circle, eat the gingerbread, perhaps with a glass of mead, known as the honeymoon drink. That's what they considered it. And say, as you become part of me, so I become as you, sweet, desirable, lovely, and gorgeous. You can eat up the other gingerbread people too, or share them with your friends.
Basically, I like that one.
I know, it's just so cute. It's like, that would be so fun to do, like for like, I don't know, Beltane just comes to mind.
I know, it does.
Or Ostara, that, but Beltane in particular, because this is like love related. So you put your intent behind, like for reals, like right here, I forgot this part. So you put all the ingredients together, and then when you're mixing them together, visualize stirring the properties of loveliness into the mixture. Say 3 times, sugar and spice and all things nice. Like this cake, I am in a thrice. Right? Trice? Is that what it says? But basically, you can say whatever your words. Okay, so like a lot of these spells, they're using somebody else's words. I highly recommend you saying your own words and writing your own words, because it's more powerful that way, because it's coming from you It's coming from what you're channeling and what you're thinking in your head and stuff. So, I mean, it's like they give you the outline of what to say or whatever for some of these, but it's really better if you take your own words and use your own words. But if you have a hard time doing that, just use what's, written in a spell. It's totally fine. But when you're like mixing up the ingredients and you're baking and stuff and you're doing this in your kitchen, you're like focusing your intent on what you're doing as you're putting all the ingredients in, like bless each one, and you're focusing and pouring your energy into the food. And this is why in relation to this, like when you cook food, this is why it's so bad when people just throw shit in the microwave and stuff like that, which I am guilty of. Yes, sometimes I do this. But when you cook and you take the time to like savor each thing that you're doing and you're chopping up your ingredients and you're doing all that, you're putting your intent behind it. And what is the name of that friggin' movie? Is it Woman on Top? Where she's totally all sensual and it's all sensuous. It's got Penelope Cruz in it.
Don't give me actresses and actors' names.
It's fucking great. I love it because she's like super passionate about what she's doing and like the food, and she's like putting her love into it and stuff like that. Yeah, that's not a fucking joke, okay? You're making magic when you cook food, because then you're taking that food and you're putting that
intent.
What
you eat.
Yes, you're putting that intent to your body. So the next time you go to cook yourself some breakfast, lunch, or dinner, think about that. Take your time, choose the highest, best quality ingredients you can afford, and chop it up and, mix it up, stir it up, cook it up, saute it, fucking bake it, whatever. But put your intent behind it for like having perfect health or abundance in your life or whatever, and see what happens after you focus and you put your intent. And that's why in like certain countries, I mean, I think it's so shitty in the United States, and I hope the rest of the world does not adopt our fucking ways of being, okay?
No, please
About
don't.
rushing and nobody sitting down to a meal and enjoying it together. When in other countries, it's like you take your fucking time when you eat and you enjoy it, because food is passion and it's meant to be enjoyed. So that's why I love that poppet spell. It's like an edible one because it can be very passionate. And it's like, can you imagine like making some stuff like that for Valentine's Day and then like sharing it with your lover? I mean, that's just like so fucking epic. I recommend it. I think it'd be fun. You could make chocolate, put chocolate in it,
Well, make chocolates and then put different little...
Make the chocolates into a shape too. That's a good one as well. So,
because chocolate's easy to mold anyway.
Yeah, it is. So anyways, I think that's going to wrap it up for this one. We're going to do a part 2 of this where we're going to continue on and we're going to have some more stuff, because there's other really cool stuff from like, there's voodoo stuff in here that I haven't even gotten to. There's stuff from
there's
ancient
still
Egypt.
More from this book as well.
Yeah, there's some ancient Egypt stuff in here. That actually was like an amulet that's, we're going to talk about that. There's all kinds of stuff that I haven't even touched on yet from all over the friggin' world in this love charms and spells and stuff. And then I have like another book, like a moon spell for love as well. So anyways, thank you guys for listening and joining us today. And for any of you out there who are interested in getting a personal tarot reading with Ciara, there's information in the drop-down box. We love doing Pisces twin readings together. So if you guys are interested in having the cards read by both of us, there's information down there about that. So thank you guys again for being with us. We love you very much. And thank you for being part of our soul tribe.
See you in the next one.
Bye.